the power of curiosity. I'd like to start this message with a verse from the Gospel of Thomas. This Gospel of Thomas is not something that's normally read on Sunday mornings in churches, because this Gospel was buried in the sands after it was condemned to not be a part of the Bible that we inherited. It was discovered in the deserts of Egypt in 1945, along with a collection of several other sacred writings that were banned from study. I'd like to read just one saying, and I've got it on the screen there behind me, because sometimes we follow differently with our ears than we do with our eyes. And I'll leave it up there as I go through the message so you can contemplate this verse. The saying goes like this. Jesus said, "If the flesh came into being because of spirit, that is a marvel. But if spirit came into being because of the body, that is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty." I'm not going to say anything about it, just to let it be what it is. Have y'all heard of alchemy? I first heard of alchemy when I was in science in school. I can't remember what grade, but it wasn't chemistry because I wasn't that old yet. But alchemy was taught as being an early precursor of chemistry, that this is the way they did science back a long time ago. And for a long time, that's all I thought of alchemy. And as I began to study psychology and some of the more occult sciences, just out of curiosity, especially psychology, Carl Jung talked a lot about alchemy. But what he was talking about wasn't turning lead into gold, as the puffers, who were a name that was referred to some of the alchemists, were the puffers, because of the smoke that was released from their experiments. No, in this alchemy, instead of trying to transmute lead into gold, the idea was to try and transmute ourselves from a being who is dominated by our sense of separate self or our flesh into a being who is living from spirit in us. The Aramaic words are nafsha, self, our separate self, and ruah, spirit. And you notice from this simple symbol here, this diagram, that there is no place, as separate as we might feel ourselves, where spirit is not. There's always the presence of spirit in us. And even as we climb to where Ruha, spirit in us, has become the active voice in our consciousness, that separate self doesn't go away either. It is a marvel that this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. So our prayer that we shared together today was an exercise in the power of curiosity. We brought our attention to a place in our body It was one place today. Maybe tomorrow it'll be a different place. But we approached this place in our body, even if there was an uncomfortable feeling in this place, with compassion. We weren't trying to change anything or control our body, simply allowing it to be what it is and observe. Asking our body if there's anything that our body wanted to tell us. As we listened with compassion, compassionate curiosity. This is the fifth in a series of lessons that come from this book. What's in the way is the way. We talked about the storyteller in us. This thing that came into being as we grew up. When we were first born, we lived in the meadow completely. We knew nothing other than the meadow until the storyteller began to make its appearance. As we began to divide the world into us and something that's not us. Perhaps it was myself and that which is giving me the food that I need. And we began to tell stories about how it is that we could get that food. Perhaps we learned how to cry to get attention of our caregivers so that we could get the food we need or so we could be cleaned. The beginning of the storyteller. We began to cultivate certain beliefs that help the world to make sense to us. Some foundational beliefs. That I'm separate from life. That life is not safe. Perhaps we found that out when we touched the hot stove. Don't touch the stove. Ow! And we cried. And so we figured, well, we got to control this life. It's not safe. We got to control. We've got to be in control. We've got to eliminate those things that don't make us happy. And we got to go find the things that do. Forgetting all along we've been living in the meadow. We were born in the meadow. But we kept piling on these beliefs. And you know, I'm still not happy, so I mustn't be doing it right. And because I'm not doing it right, I must be wrong. These are the spells we cast on ourselves, the beliefs we took on and owned. It's common. Don't feel like, oh, how a bad person I am because I have these. Because I guarantee you, we've all got it somehow. It's part of growing up. Remember, it's going to be with us always. Even as Ruah, as our spirit, as spirit in us is in control of our lives, it's still going to be there. But it's not in control anymore like it is now. Telling us that we're unlovable, we don't deserve to be loved. Or this one, perhaps the most tragic of all. I am alone. I have no one or nothing. But they're just spells, they're just beliefs. They're false, they're illusions. They're something that the storyteller tells us over and over again in our minds so often that we just see it as being what is. We've grown so used to living in the clouds that surround us that are the storyteller, that are these spells that are cast on, that we cast on ourselves, that we can't see the meadow. All these clouds have us so surrounded that we can no longer see the meadow. The meadow that we were born in, the meadow that we never have left. It's always there. So how do we get back? How do we begin to climb up this ladder? This way up is the way in. And it begins with our compassionate curiosity. Our body is much more wise than we give it credit for. Our body will tell us when we're in the clouds, when we're not seeing the meadow. If you watch it, you'll start to notice. When you get into a story, you notice you're in a story with your curiosity. Check in with that body, just like we did in that prayer. What does it feel like? Then, the next time your body begins to feel this way, you'll know you're in a story. And you'll know what story it is. Which spell has got a hold of you. Because all of the spells are illusions. There's something that has been brought over that's clouding your vision of the truth. That we are in the meadow. That we live from the meadow. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a marvel. Isn't it? You know, in Unity we teach, we live from the inside out. Our experience of what is out there is directly proportional to what we are thinking inside of ourselves. If we want to change our experience of life, we change our thoughts about life. But if spirit came into being because of the body, like science tries to tell us, I think science is finally starting to wake up to the possibility that, hey, that's a little bit backwards. We're putting the cart before the horse here. And that's what Jesus was reminding us with this saying in Gospel of Thomas, way back, before alchemy, perhaps even. Back when alchemy didn't have any puffers. All alchemy was this transmutation of our being into realizing spirit within us, that we can live from this meadow, that we don't have to pursue happiness constantly because it's already there with us. And you know, we call it joy. Happiness comes and goes like sadness. But joy, we can have joy in the midst of anything. The marvel of marvels is how something so gold, so divine, so full of joy and peace, all of these gifts of the Spirit that we celebrate at Christmas time. Love, joy, and peace. That they dwell in this body. But the body and everything that's going on out there is going to remind us with our compassionate curiosity of the meadow. The more we practice this compassionate curiosity, the faster we're able to recognize when we've fallen off the horse and are ready to get back up. When we have gone away from our center and we're ready to bring ourselves back to center. I like to take spirit breaks. Spirit break. And it can happen in the middle of whatever's going on and nobody ever knows that I'm doing it. It can be as simple as a deep breath, just as I bring myself back to center. I like to do it when I work on the computer a lot at work. I click on something, and then this glass starts to spin. The computer's spinning. And then, I really want to click on something else because I'm ready to, but instead, spirit break. Okay. What else can I do? Watch it spin? Spirit break. Take a deep breath. Remember the truth of who I am. The meadow. Check in with my body. The spirit break. Oh, I'm coming to church. That's another red light. I've hit every light red. Oh, I feel that frustration in my shoulder. Spirit break. What else am I going to do at the red light? Be angry at something I have no control over? No, I take a spirit break. I remember the truth of who I am. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Look at the blue sky. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Look at the clouds. They're just, it's awesome. Spirit break. It's our power. It's our choice. We live life from the inside out. And so we remember compassionate curiosity. There is power in curiosity.